Team, I'm jumping on here because I am having a day, and I hate that I tend to jump on here when I'm having those days. But it is what it is. There's learning and there's growth in being present with the things that are happening inside of us, and I'm doing some big things with my life right now, especially with my health. And it's this interesting push pull. We won't get into the details of the insanity that is my health and my body, but I do want to get into the push pull of choosing in to ourselves when that's happening. I was sitting around a table with a group of really incredible entrepreneurs, and we are all talking about goals over the next year. And everyone had these big, audacious, beautiful monetary and business goals. And it gets to me, and with a little bit of shame, I'm like, my goal is to be healthy. That's my goal. And there's a radicalness and a beauty in taking care of ourselves, and especially in taking care of our bodies and our health, because what business is going to run if we're not here to run it? What message is going to reach the masses if we're not here to speak it? What glorious creation can unfold from us if we're not here to create, to do that great thing? And so this isn't about having shame in that goal, but in having kind of a reality, or speaking to the realness that when our goals don't seem to meet up with others, we can feel shame. It can sneak up on us. And so I'm doing big things with my body, and I'm doing big things with my business of stepping even more fully into the messages that I want to share, even though the messages scare me. And I'm here today, and I'm working on actually Joe's business right now, trying to help him conquer some things, or put them in alignment. And I can just feel this weight pressing on me. And it's hard and it's heavy. And there's a part of me that was like, reach out and ask for love. And there was a part of me that was like, stop talking to people about your problems. And as I'm here working in PowerPoint, building some amazing things, a an idea represented itself in my mind. And that's actually what I want to talk to you about today. That's actually what I want to share with you. A few days ago, I did an oracle reading for Joe, which was really, really fun. I don't often do one for Joe. He's not often coming to me, but I got a new oracle deck. Okay. The Lantern Oracle by Angelina Mirabito. Anyway, brilliant, amazing, gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. And the card that I pulled, it was actually for Joe. It wasn't for me. But it was this, it was the crone called Radical Self Love. And there was something in that oracle that really, really hit me strongly. And it's just been percolating the last few days. And as I was sitting here feeling this weight press upon me, this almost feeling of despair, because I really do believe that as we reach to places outside of our comfort zone, it's very natural for mental gremlins to stand up and shout and yell. A, because they're assholes. B, because we're doing things that are bigger than we've done before, and we are stepping into places that we don't necessarily know and are not comfortable with. That's why it's called outside the comfort zone. And everything inside of us is going to try and make us go back to what is comfortable. And there's a part of me that wants to go back, not just to the comfort, but also to the girl that wasn't afraid to get on live stream with her hair all crazy and her eyelashes falling out, and who is more concerned with making it meaningful than making it polished, because I'm still not about perfection, but there's an element as the more you grow and the more you get out there, that suddenly you feel like you need to be polished. um and there's an element of truth to that, and there's just getting it done. Anyway, all these things swimming around in my head. And as this has been pressing upon me, the words came back to me. And these are the words that I want to share with you about choosing into radical self love. Not the kind of self love that says, I love me when everything's going right. And I love me when I look just right. And I love me when I get it just right. Notice the theme here, getting things right. It's not just about loving ourselves when we look our best and we feel our best and we do our best and all the world and stars are aligned. Radical self love is loving ourselves no matter what. no matter how dark it seems, no matter how people like us or don't like us, no matter whether or not we're perfect or polished or imperfect or a hot mess. It's loving ourselves through all things. And this is what the Oracle says. And this is just one paragraph, and I absolutely loved it. This card encourages you to say yes and to let go of all your self judgment, shadows, and untruths so that room can be made for all of your loving light to radiate through the rest of your life. Okay? Removing, releasing the judgment, the shadows, the untruths, so that room can be made for all your loving light to radiate through the rest of your life. Now, that may make us think that we got to get rid of all of our imperfections. Okay, that's what the card's asking, but it's not. It's not. She goes on to say, the featured crone supports you in cultivating the strength required to love yourself for all that you are and all that you are not. To love that you have done, to love all that you have done and all that you have not done, to love all that you have struggled with and overcome, as well as all of the things you still struggle with and may never overcome. It supports you to love what you are ashamed of or fear and to love what hurts. Love all of your emotions. They communicate to you what matters most to you. And I just felt like I needed to hear that. And I felt like I needed to share that this radical self-love that is possible to us. Perhaps overcoming all the things is not possible. I don't know. I'm still making my way through PTSD and through the accompanying things of anxiety, fear, doubt, and depression that sometimes come along with that. I'm still making my way through growing into the next evolution of Debbie that is available to me. I'm still growing my way into my own goddessness and into my own powers and into my own truths as I shift through all of the BS that came before me and continue to recognize the ways in which some of that BS continues to show up in my life. Because I have to be honest, for all the things that I've changed, for all the things that I've healed, for all the ways in that I have let go of past ideologies that have caused me harm, I still feel like sometimes there's a mountain of glass in front of me calling my name and asking me to decide what to keep and what to get rid of. And in making that journey, sometimes I can have so much judgment against myself for not being farther along or not having it figured out, or sometimes feeling like I'm back at the beginning again. But what I know is that I'm not at the beginning. I'm at the beginning of a new edge of an comfort zone because we traverse that valley of death and then we get comfortable in this new place that we are at. But those of us that are committed to growth, who want not just a happy life, but one that's filled with life and energy and creation, and to be so bright and shiny that others have to wear shades, that means we're constantly going to be going through this cycle of coming into a new comfort zone, hanging out there for a while, and then meeting the edge of that comfort zone and looking at a new valley of death. And I find myself going through those same cycles and needing this reminder that radical love isn't just loving the best parts of ourselves or the accomplishments that we made or the achievements that we've been able to notch on our bedpost or super kid stickers we've been able to attach to our banners or whatever. But loving radical self-love is loving all that we have done and all that we haven't. It's loving all that we have struggled with and overcome and all that we haven't. It's loving all that we are ashamed of and fear and loving all that hurts. And I think that's powerful. That's so freaking powerful. It's a gift to be able to look at ourselves and go, everything about us, everything about me, I choose to love. And I'm going to say it that way. I'm going to say choose because sometimes we don't want to love those parts of ourselves. Sometimes we want those parts to go away and we want the darkness to be over and we want the weaknesses to be strengths. That's real. And we can choose to love those parts of us anyway, because in loving those parts, we give ourselves power. We put the power where it needs to be, which is in movement forward, not in getting stuck in the past and not in trying to shake ourselves free. That will happen. I do believe in growth and I do believe in releasing and I do believe in all of those things. And we can continue to love all of us in the process. So when we finally are able to release that thing that's been holding on to us, when we finally can say, oh, I'm setting this down, I can set it down with power and with love, with grace and forgiveness to go, thank you for what I'm taking from you, and I need you no more. Best wishes. Good luck. And I'm moving forward. So choose to love yourself. I think that's what this card is saying. Again, I want to point back to the Lantern Oracle. There's a lot more going on in that card. There was pages of information, but that was the piece that I wanted to share. The Lantern Oracle, again, by Angelina Mirabito, I think is how she pronounces it, but it's absolutely beautiful. And it was the crone card right here, radical self-love. So that's what I wanted to share today. And I'm going to add a piece onto this because this is my call in this season. If you're struggling with radical self love and choosing you no matter what, choosing you regardless of the mental gremlins, regardless of the trolls, regardless of the people who you thought were here to see and support you and love you. And yet, when you're around them, you feel like you're less than human. You feel like you're never enough. So, even when it's the people that are supposed to love, if you are struggling to see yourselves as anything less than the incredible human and creation, that being of spirit and power that you are, I am going to invite you to come play with me, come be with me, come be a part of Magical AF. Come, let me show you how to walk through the process of removing those layers of BS, those false beliefs, those old illusions. Please let me help you to set yourself free because I can't do it. I'm going to own it right now. I cannot set anyone free. That's not my job. But what I can do is I can help you to get the breakthroughs that you need to set yourself free. And if you're in any kind of place in your life where you're looking around going, I do so much for everybody else, when is it going to be my turn? I'm telling you, your turn is right now. It's this season, but you've got to choose it. And you've got to choose you. And you've got to choose that radical self love. And I am happy, overjoyous, ecstatic to be able to help you. So if that's something you're looking for, go to magicalaf.me, magicalaf.me. I'll post it in the comments below. And if that's not where your call is, that's fine. But please, whatever you do today, please choose to love all of you, the light and the dark, the strength and the weakness, the power, the part of you that needs rest. It's all worth loving. So there's my thought for today. I'm going to get back to PowerPoints. But if you can't see that you're worthy of that love and you trust me at all, will you trust me that I know that you're worthy of that kind of love? You're worth it. All right. I love you.